that's where, if you want to look up where the term boycott was coined, it was the west of Ireland. Yeah. But so basically, you know, I just think that these small acts of kindness, these small acts of love and solidarity, I genuinely think they hold the world together. In no sort of lofty, no sort of highfalutin, no sort of high concept way, I genuinely think it holds the world together. The small ways that we show up every single day. And the way that we witness in our best mates and in our friends. And we see it in our parents, and I see what you're going through. You know, we see the human experience of the people around us and our loved ones. And in small ways, every single day we show up and we're like, I love you, here I am. I'm not gonna abandon you. And I think, genuinely, I think when people do that at the same time, towards one cause, I think history has changed forever. And to me, there's nothing too complicated about it. And talking about protest and its legacy, I think that's what happened when everybody in our collective societies decided that every single person would want the right to vote, you know, would need the right to vote, the inalienable right to vote. And Mavis Staples, as you know, she used to sing before speeches during the American Civil Rights Movement with her family, the Staples Singers. And why that was of some particular interest to me as an Irishman coming from Ireland is that civil rights movement here in the 60s directly inspired and directly impacted the civil rights movement that happened in Northern Ireland very, very shortly after that. At a time and place when not every citizen had the right to vote, the equal right to vote. It was wrapped up in property law and ownership of property. And to me, when a society all just gets together and bears honest witness to their neighbour, you know, that's what happened when everybody decided, you know, women should have the right to vote. We take that for granted. Not to be fought tooth and nail for. But it's within living memory that women couldn't open a fucking bank account without the male signature. The guardian signature. That's within living memory. Just to give context. And I think that same thing happened when everybody in our collective societies decided that we would want our LGBTQ plus siblings to have the same rights as us, you know? People recognize, you know what, it's only right that women should have full reproductive rights and control over their reproductive. The fact that there's a very weekend that we look forward to is something that the Labour movement had to push for, you know? We take that for granted. And in the 1980s, you know, there was a lot of student protests, a lot of divestment protests, you know. People who were honest witness then to what was happening in apartheid South Africa, and they said, you know what, that's not right. Okay, enough people decided to stop buying products from apartheid South Africa at the time, and investment drew out, and apartheid South Africa changed very, very quickly. It's no longer an apartheid state, you know. Is there, and that same human compassion that we show up with every single day is that same way that we recognize in the cities that we live in, the communities that we live in. We wouldn't want our neighbours to live with racism or the fear of hatred around the corner. We wouldn't want them. We would want better for them. We wouldn't want them to live with Islamophobia. We wouldn't want them to have to face anti-Semitism. And I believe the core of people on the whole is good. I genuinely do. And I'll fucking die on that hill. And I think when people are protesting now at the same time, and they're reaching out to democratic representation, and they're crying out to say, you know what, we want to be represented in that humanity, represented in that compassion, and we wouldn't want to see the enabling of war going on. We wouldn't want to see the kind of violence that we're seeing on our TV screens for anybody. Safety and security for everybody in that region. And that would mean seeing the Palestine free from violence, you know? To pursue statehood and self-determination, which is what the people of my country asked for about 100 years ago. There's an Irish revolutionary by the name of James Connolly. I just want to say that the peace and the security and the safety that was fought for from my country, that was two communities coming together despite a huge amount, hundreds of years of a history of occupation, and saying, you know, peace is better. And it was the American people and the American government that was a party to that peace brokerage, you know, and it was America was, the Clinton administration at the time was hugely influential on that peace deal in the 1990s, with Down the Net Beneficiary album, you know? And I grew up in a peaceful Ireland as a result. And, but there's an Irish revolutionary by the name of James Connolly. I'm just going to leave you with this because I've been waffling for a long, long fucking time. And he said that there's no revolution that is complete without a poetical expression, without its poetical expression. And Nina Staples to me has always embodied a revolution, poetical expression of a revolution of love, a revolution of kindness, and a revolution of honest witness to the experience of other people and the experience of ourselves. And I think that's powerful. And the way that people have shown up for now, and the love I see in this crowd today, I think is powerful. These small things are so powerful. It's not the way you